The managers union says the government needs to come clean about BEC and stop selling the Hayman's dream, saying power outage will continue. I'm Clint Watson. The stories ahead in the Bahamas tonight.
The Bahamas and United States get tough on the fight against drugs.
The Raleigh Gray is on its way to the island of Exuma. We've got all the details, so stay tuned.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
New Providence residents can expect power cuts for the entire week, and the summer season hasn't even begun yet. Good evening, everyone. I'm Charisma Robinson.
And I'm Chris Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, according to BEC's Executive Chairman Leslie Miller, this follows power outages at various intervals over the weekend. But president of BEC's Managers Union and one of the managers at the Blue Hill Power Station, Clinton Minnis, says there's a reason why consumers continue to experience these power outages. He told Clint Watson that the cause of the system failure should be told.
Dr. John Maxwell said everything rise and fall on leadership. This one has to fall on leadership.
The reason why New Providence consumers will face power outages all week is due to more system failures and restrictions at the Blue Hill Power Plant. And those Clifton Pier engines out of service for maintenance. This as the corporation awaits backup rented generators to help facilitate the load. But President of BEC's Managers Union, Clinton Minnis, believes BEC management waited too late to get help.
The union had indicated to management from in January that we think by the then opening of Bahama on March 27, the rental power should have been in place to make up for the already challenged system plus the demand that Bahama would present. And so we learned that it was coming in April. Then now we're learning that they're not going to be here till May.
Minnis says the union is concerned that their recommendation and predictions on what would happen was not taken seriously. He confirmed that the request was made last year for rental power, and for it to now begin a year after is too little, too late.
Beginning today, because of the restrictions on the machine, we are still going to be load shedding until we get those 60 megawatts in place. And that is not good news, but at the same time, if you don't do your maintenance schedule, and if you don't stick to your disciplined, organized maintenance schedule, that our engineers, the managers who are part of our union, have made recommendations. Some have fallen on deaf ear. If you don't listen in the low season, we all gonna perish in the high season.
BEC Chairman Leslie Miller spoke to us by phone, saying the real issue in his view is workers not doing their job and conducting regular maintenance. He says he's sick and tired of making excuses to the public and going back and forth with the union.
The board approved the generators a few weeks ago. Okay? To speed up the process, the company wanted a deposit. I spoke with the president. Okay? And we advanced beyond getting the deposit. They then had mobilized the machines to be here without the deposit. I told the governor of Bahamas will see to it that they are paid. Okay? I already got the word from the minister. It is not a problem. Therefore, they then had mobilized. Why do these guys make excuses about generators? What the hell generators got to do with them doing their jobs? Do your job. Keep the generators running. Do what you got to do. Do what you're being paid for. Alright? And live up to your commitment to the Bahamian people.
Meantime, no set date on when those generators will actually be in place and operating. However, Mr. Miller says they could possibly have been in town already. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
Power outages prompted the adjournment of several cases in Bank Lane today, including matters in the main Supreme Court building, Ansbacher House, and the temporary courts. Now, while generators are installed at several of the courts, a court official noted that they did not come on as expected, and efforts were being made to contact the Ministry of Works to address the problem. The power outage in Bank Lane came on the heels of blackouts at various intervals today and over the weekend. Meantime, matters are expected to continue Tuesday as scheduled. Meantime, matters continued as normal at the South Street Magistrates Court, where 5 Bahamians and an American were arraigned today before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt on a laundry list of firearm-related charges. The defendants are American 39-year-old Yavani Garland and Grand Bahamians 19-year-old Rashid Smith, 41-year-old Ricardo Stubbs, 43-year-old Dion Morris, 36-year-old Alan Barrows, and 20-year-old Sergio Humes. They all pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of possession of an unlicensed firearm, 2 counts of possession of a prohibited high-powered weapon, and 1 count of possession of ammunition, and 1 count of conspiracy to possess and supply unlicensed firearms. Bail was denied, and they were remanded to prison. They returned to court on May 28th for bail consideration. Calvin Seymour, Bernard Ferguson, and Grand Bahama attorney Carlton Sherlin are representing the accused. Police are on the hunt for another individual who they believe is connected with these firearm seizures. 27-year-old Alfred Bastian of Kemp Road. He is described as being 5 feet 5 inches tall with dark brown complexion and a medium build. Anybody with information on Bastian's whereabouts should call the police at 919 or 328-TIPS.
The Bahamas and the United States continue to partner in the fight against drug trafficking and transnational crime. And today, the U.S. made its single largest donation to the effort. U.S. officials contributed nearly $3 million through the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative to enhance the capabilities of law enforcement. This came as both countries signed an amended letter of agreement on narcotics control and law enforcement at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs today. The agreement was first signed on September 24, 2010, and is aimed at decreasing illicit trafficking and enhancing citizen security. Since 2010, the U.S. has contributed more than $10 million to the cause. U.S. Charge d'Affaires Lisa Johnson says that commitment continues.
This agreement provides an additional $2.745 million for programs to enhance the capabilities of the Royal Bahamian Police Force and Operation Bahamas Turks and Caicos, to support drug demand reduction programs, to assist the Bahamas Department of Corrections, and to increase the Bahamas' capability to investigate and prosecute crimes. As the Minister mentioned, this assistance is being provided under the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative, which is a U.S. government initiative that seeks to reduce illicit trafficking and increase public safety and security, as well as promote social justice.
Minister of Foreign Affairs and Immigration, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, says the alliance celebrates the commitment to addressing matters of national security. He says the support from the United States is welcomed and the significance of the agreement is irrefutable. In the middle of growing concern about human trafficking and smuggling, Minister Mitchell noted that an increasing amount of money is going towards the fight against migrant smuggling. He says it is an area that is becoming more complicated.
We're working on an exchange of dip notes which will in effect be a memorandum of understanding between the 2 countries on the sharing of intelligence information coming out of interdiction of migrants on the seas. So the idea would be that if the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and the Department of Immigration interdict migrants who are trying to come into the Bahamas, that we would ask them certain questions, collect certain information, and that information is then shared with the United States, which has a lot of assets around to deal with it, because they can move the assets and help try and interdict others who are coming.
A legendary sailor from Exuma will forever have his name a part of Bahamian history, not only for his accomplishments in sailing, but the government will name one of the new Defense Force vessels in his honor on Thursday. Today, officials led by the National Security Minister conducted a site check and held a town meeting with residents. Janae Noel Ferguson was there.
Exuma's Grand Isle Marina is the venue for the commissioning ceremony of the Defense Force's HMBS Raleigh Gray. It's the 4th installment of the multi-million-dollar Sandy Bottom project aimed at strengthening the resources of the Defense Force. Officials had hoped to berth the vessel at the Elizabeth Harbor Dock or at Staniel Key, which is the home of the honoree, but that proved challenging.
Only to find out that the water here is too shallow. We cannot afford to damage any of these boats, as you can imagine.
National Security Minister Dr. Bernard Nottage and his technical team visited both sites on Monday and revealed that dredging will have to take place at Elizabeth Harbor to accommodate larger vessels.
It wasn't an original part of the Sandy Bottom project, but there are some funds in there that I think we might be able to use to get this done. So we'll have the matter reviewed by the technical people and then make a decision and probably make a recommendation to the cabinet that we do that while we have the dredger in the Bahamas.
This is historical as well, to have the government now thinking about dredging the harbor to bring not only the defense force, but we could have cruise ships coming next summer.
Captain Commander Granville Adderley is the first to be assigned to the new vessel. For him, it's an honor and a privilege.
The ship is equipped with bow thrusters, as well as we have new technology with reference to the rudder. So we have, and then we have the latest fuel-efficient, sulfur-free engine.
A town meeting was held Monday afternoon to garner suggestions from Exuma residents. They were pleased that one of Exuma's own is being honored. A suggestion was also made to recruit Defense Force officers from the Family Islands to serve on the Raleigh Gray.
The way Nassau is heading right now, when you get recruitments of the Nassau, the attitudes is different, and the results are different when you go to some of these Family Islands.
We are looking for people with 5 PGCSEs. These boats that we're getting are costing us $15 million each. And the people who are going to be in charge of these boats got to be able to handle a $15 million investment.
Thursday's vessel commissioning ceremony will take place at 4 p.m. in Exuma. I'm Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
Moldy Matters was the next step in the recovery.
Black Tuesday, a pivotal day in Bahamian equality, is remembered. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Lux Men's Warehouse.